or marginalization by the councils in the Northwest that infringe to their rights to benefit from public services.
The Council of Toronto, Brampton, Kitchener, in Ontario province in Canada, and going back to sign the convention. And I think they have also promised to give us some assistance in the domain of agricultural equipment, herd, and also to see the possibility we can control schools here. They asked me to see, to make provision for land. So I'm already in consultation with some of the funds. I see the funds are all here.
The Office of the Public Independent Conciliator, since its existence in the Northwest, it was disclosed, has received and is mediating some 64 complaints, while over 40 cases have been registered for the year 2022.
A not-for-profit making organization, Community Refugee Relief Initiative, in partnership with Enow Foundation, both passionate with bringing hope to individuals and families affected by conflicts, have reached out with Christmas gifts and more to over 300 IDPs from the restive Northwest and the Southwest regions in Douala. Eileen Sama attended this event and now reports.
More than 300 internally displaced persons, mainly women and children, from the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon, hit hard by the ongoing conflict, now residing in Bonaberry and Bois-de-Senche neighborhoods in Douala, littoral region of Cameroon, have benefited from the benevolence of the Community Refugee Relief Initiative, CRRI, in collaboration with the Enow Foundation. The Christmas event started with prayers and worship to God, led by Reverend Hans Akeba, senior pastor of Zion Baptist Church Bonaberry, who brought a message of hope to the beneficiaries. The not-for-profit making organization CRRI is headed by Dr. Atancho Celestine, a humanitarian based in the USA.
It was my birthday and initially planned a trip to celebrate my birthday, but I saw disturbing images from the displays, both in Cameroon and Nigeria. We decided to go to Nigeria to see for ourselves what the situation was. And when we got there, we saw very disturbing situations for one people that were stranded. And we decided to come back from that trip and get organized so that we can help in the long term. And we've been doing that ever since.
Dr. Atancho cheered these less privileged and vulnerable persons to stay courageous and hopeful.
Our slogan, CRI, is sustaining hope for a brighter tomorrow. And we come here with a message of hope and encouraging them not to despair. And we are telling them to take advantage of whatever support we are giving them and other organizations are giving them. We are taking it to the next level. When this whole thing started, we're doing a lot of drive, education drive, all of that. But today, our priority is livelihood training.
It should be noted here that CRRI has been providing humanitarian assistance to IDPs from Cameroon now residing in Nigeria since the armed conflict broke out in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon, but are faced with a number of challenges.
More than 300 IDPs in Nigeria, and it's quite challenging. Like Mr. Chair said, we don't yet know how many will be training in Cameroon. It all depends on some things that we put together. There are so many challenges in this, especially one, sustaining this training, and two, getting the IDPs to be committed to what they are doing, even the ones that have been trained. We have some centers in Nigeria. We have a community center, we have a workshop in Eyong.
The CEO of Enow Foundation is grateful for the support from CRRI.
We are so grateful, and the entire team is so grateful, and we hope that the world really watches more of what we do and we get more people like CRRI. It's an honor to work with people who have the heart to care and the heart to give, because it's a challenge on its own. People are suffering worldwide. It's not just in Cameroon. People are abroad that are struggling, and we still have people who are willing to give, who are willing to sacrifice their time to come out to support others. It's a great deal, and it gives not just us, but the beneficiaries a lot of hope.
The beneficiaries were overwhelmed and say the aid came in timely.
It's really a privilege for me to be part of this sharing of gifts for Christmas, and I pray that the good Lord will continue to replenish the souls.
The event wrapped up with the sharing of gifts to the IDPs comprising of rice, vegetable oil, soap, sanitary pads, just to name but these, and the taking of snapshots.
Preparations are heightening in Kongsamba, Mungo division of the littoral region ahead of Christmas. This day, December 23, 2022, inhabitants of the Ngwabeng village were out for a cleanup campaign organized by the municipal authorities. Joy Ngong reports.
Days before Christmas, inhabitants of the Ngwambeng neighborhood in the Kongsamba 2 subdivision have come out in their numbers to tidy up their surroundings. This is, in a way, to contribute to the promotion of hygiene and sanitation of the locality, an initiative supported by the mayor of Kongsamba 2, Patrice Samin. The cleanup campaign involved the cleaning of gutters, weeding and waste sweeping. The locals used the opportunity to remind the municipal authority of their needs of potable water and electricity. In this quarter, our worry before the end of year feast is that Ngwambeng be one of the cleanest neighborhoods because we already have other problems like potable water. We don't have water. So I told the population that we can start by human investment and then try to ensure cleanliness. After that, we can now use our voice to table our problems to higher authorities. And with this, Ngwabeng will be the ideal neighborhood. During the cleanup campaign, it was discovered that the bridge linking the Roy roundabout and the Ngwabeng village, which is the main passage between Kongsamba and Bakem in the Mungo division, is about to collapse, representing grave danger for the local population. Pending a prompt reaction from the municipal authorities, we can say that it is in cleanliness that the inhabitants of Ngwambeng will spend the end-of-year celebrations.
The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Mbairo, presided at the official launch of the Mini Regional Agro-Pastoral Show in Adamawa, as it was a forum for top producers, researchers, technicians, and government projects managers to meet and showcase the fruits of their craftsmanship. It was also an opportunity for households to purchase quality products at good prices. Katarani Kongwe completes the story.
The doors of the Regional Agro-Pastoral Show of Adamawa opened on Thursday, December 22, 2022. The opening ceremony, which took place at the esplanade of the Regional Delegation of Agriculture, saw the significant presence of the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Mbairo, who expressed satisfaction with the turnout of the show.
I'm very satisfied to be here for the show of the Agro-Pastoral Show in Adamawa region. I've noticed that it is a diversified agriculture that we show the way. We have many crops. We have tubes, we have vegetables, we have grapes, we have cereals, grains, rice, and we have meat in this region. We are looking forward to launch a main project of the production of wheat in Adamawa in order to ensure the food security in our country.
The minister added that they are looking forward in using innovation to improve the production of cereal grain crops and other cash crops in the region.
We are looking forward to use innovation to produce improved seedling and seed for potatoes, for cassava in this region. We are satisfied to see the population, especially those farmers who are eager to face the challenges of the agriculture. We know that we have some challenges, the increase of the price of fertilizer, the negative impact of the climate change, and the government is taking the engagement to support the price of the fertilizer 30%. I'm very satisfied to see this evolution.
The launch of the mini agro-pastoral show in Gaoundéré, Adamawa region of Cameroon is a forum for farmers to meet and showcase their different farm produce, as it was also an opportunity for households to purchase quality products at prices challenging the auction.
The Delegation of Transport for the East Region, in partnership with the Ministry of Transport, have launched a sensitization campaign against road accidents during this festive period. The campaigns were launched at some travel agencies in Bertoua, chief town of the East Region. Details with Noel Tamnjong.
It is Christmas, a time when people journey from far and near to reunite and feast with family and loved ones. It is on this basis that the Regional Delegation of Transport for the East Region have launched a mass sensitization campaign against road accidents at different travel agencies and bus stations in Bertoua. The sensitization campaign is in line with the fight against road accidents, which has been recurrent across the National Triangle, especially at a time people are traveling to different destinations to celebrate Christmas with loved ones.
N'oublions pas que tout ce que nous voulons, c'est le credo au niveau du ministère du Transport. On veut zéro accident sur la route. N'oubliez pas que c'est la période de fête. Les gens bougent beaucoup. Beaucoup de personnes sont dans des états pas très ordinaires. C'est-à-dire que même certains chauffeurs peuvent même se permettre de prendre l'alcool avant de prendre le volant, ce que nous combattons. Il y a des personnes qui prennent l'alcool, qui traversent la route. Il faut plutôt que les voitures les évitent. Bref, tout le monde doit être prudent.
To this effect, travel agencies have been urged to adopt certain recommended measures to ensure the realization of this vision.
Au niveau des agents de voyage, nous prenons toutes les dispositions pour sensibiliser les chefs d'agence pour que, avant de programmer un chauffeur qui se rassure, que ce chauffeur a bien dormi, que ce chauffeur est dans un état psychologique de bien voyager, et surtout que ce chauffeur a été briefé sur la notion, sur le fait que nous devons éviter les accidents sur la route. Briefé en ce sens quoi. Vous savez que la première cause d'accident sur les routes, c'est l'excès de vitesse. L'excès de vitesse, ça veut dire que c'est le chauffeur. Bref, nous devons, nous, au niveau du ministère du Transport.
Meanwhile, some travel agencies in the town of Bertoua have pledged to implement and reinforce prescribed measures in order to curb road accidents in the city.
Nous connaissons tous que les gens voyagent dans le bus et notre première priorité c'est de mettre à la disposition de nos concitoyens un bus à jour, c'est-à-dire un bus qui a tous ses papiers, un bus qui a ses visites techniques. La majorité de nos bus ce sont des bus neufs.
On l'a vu quotidiennement, chaque jour, nous faisons tout pour satisfaire nos clients. Prendre notre travail avec eux.
All these regulations put in place by the East Regional Delegation of Transport in partnership with the Ministry of Transport is expected to yield zero road accidents during this season and ensure the safety of road users within and without Bertoua.
An edifice to honor Hezekiah train accident victims have been inaugurated 6 years after the catastrophe occurred. In the following report, Dolin Gonde now takes us down memory lane to revisit the incident while painting the circumstances that have honored the deceased. Take a listen.
October 21st, 2016, a Camral inter-passenger train traveling from Cameroon's capital city, Yaoundé, to its largest city, Douala, derailed at Ezeka, Central region, leaving many dead. By the 30th of October 2016, the official number of casualties had reached 79 deaths, with more than 500 persons injured. It was the deadliest rail accident on the African continent since the August 2007 Baneleka train accident in the DRC. Now, because of recent heavy rains, a landslide had destroyed a bridge on the main road connecting the two cities, forcing many people to travel by train instead. As a result, Camral extended the 9-carriage train with 8 additional carriages, and the number of passengers on board was reported to be around 1,300, which is more than double the intended capacity of 600 of the unextended train. The train is said to have left Yaoundé at 11 a.m. local time with a slight delay when a Reuters journalist traveling on the train reported a local noise and smoke as several of the carriages derailed around midday local time in Zeka, about 120 kilometers west of the capital. Meanwhile, victims were transported to a local hospital in Zeka as well as to facilities in Douala, as social media images showed several carriages overturned on a slope beside the rail line, while hundreds of surviving and injured passengers looked on. However, due to the accident and the early bridge collapse, Cameroon's main transportation axis was effectively cut for the time being. In the later aftermath of the accident, nonetheless, an edifice to honor the Zeka train accident victims has been inaugurated 6 years after the catastrophe. In a ceremony chaired by the Minister of Transport, Jean-Ernest Masséna Ngale Bibihe, while representing President Paul Biya, the minister has acknowledged construction works on the funerary stele began in 2018 but encountered several interruptions along the way. The structure, which covers a surface area of 3,000 meters square nearby the Ezeka railway station, is also an 18-meter tall structure which contains a concrete-made block that represents a passenger car embedded in a clump with an overview of a rail area surrounded by 4 big pillars. According to the technical director of the project, the embedded car symbolizes the October 21, 2016 passenger train that left Yaoundé for Douala. The 4 pillars represent the 4 corners of Cameroon that are in tears for the loss of the number of casualties whose names have been written on the monument. The monument also has an administrative and health block, a water supply borehole for the local population, and a photovoltaic plant for autonomous energy supply.
December is Inflammatory Bowel Disease Awareness Month. The long-life chronic health condition is characterized by severe inflammation of the stomach lining tract, which starts from mild to severe, by birthing life-threatening conditions like brain fog, liver inflammation, depression, and more over time. Bokengo Worthy tells us more in the following report.
With many different disease, infections, disorder, impairments, and more being on the rise lately, data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention states that Crohn's disease and colitis, which are 2 main forms of inflammatory bowel diseases, is becoming common, especially among young adults aged 15 to 35. Around the world, more than 10 million people live with this lifelong health condition, which is often diagnosed late and can birth other life-threatening health conditions such as brain fog, mouth ulcers, eye, skin and liver inflammation, anemia, depression, arthritis, osteoporosis, extreme fatigue, hair loss, anxiety, and more over time. Caused by smoking, lack of physical exercise, poor diet intake, weak immune system, high fat consumption, dehydration, and bearing signs and symptoms including fever, abdominal pain, constipation, mucus in stool, rectal bleeding, bloating, diarrhea, unexplained weight loss. Experts say the impact of this health condition in one's life can be devastating as it interferes with one's daily lifestyle routine, reduces work productivity, and hinders one's quality of life and time spent with family members and loved ones. Seeking to raise awareness regarding it is important for everyone to keep hydrated, eat healthy, exercise regularly, avoid excessive alcohol consumption as well as any kind and form of smoke, especially secondhand smoke, together with regular visits at the hospital so as to ward off unforeseen health condition and breakdown during this season, staying healthy in festivities and all year through.
Time for us to talk sports. Andre Onana has finally officially ended his international career with the Cameroon national football team. This is contained in a release by the player today, December 23rd, 2022, and the Lions goalkeeper has officially ended his relationship with the Cameroon national team and in the green, red and yellow colors. Details will be yours in the following report. Cameroon and Inter Milan goalkeeper Andre Onana has finally resigned from the Cameroon national football team following a communique released by the player this morning. In his words, I quote, "It all started in Gongok, a small village where from a very young age, my family passed on to me the values that identify the Cameroonian people. I understand that love for this country is eternal and that commitment is non-negotiable. I remember how we watched the matches as a family. Only Cameroonians can understand what it means to us to see the indomitable Lions play. That's when I started dreaming of one day wearing the national team jersey. And now, after endless hours of training, endless trips and a lot of perseverance, I can proudly say that I have fulfilled my great dream. But every story, however beautiful it may be, has its end. And now, my story with the Cameroon national team has come to an end. Players come and go, names are fleeting, but Cameroon comes before any person or player. Cameroon remains eternal, and so does my love for the national team and for our people who have always supported us no matter how difficult the moment was. My feeling will never change. My Cameroonian heart will continue to beat, and wherever I go, I will always fight to lift the flag of Cameroon as high as possible. I will continue to support as a fan, just as the more than 27 million Cameroonians do at every match. I can only thank all those who trusted me and believed that I could add and contribute to this team. The nation first and forever, the player said. At 26 years old, Andre Onana has called it quits from international football, and this puts an end to his 6 years career with the indomitable Lions team. Andre Onana made his debut for the Cameroon national team in a friendly game against France in May 2016 and went on to make about 36 appearances for the five-time African champions. He has been first-choice goalkeeper for Cameroon. It should be noted that Onana prematurely putting an end to his national team career is partly attributed to a rift between the keeper and the Lions head coach Rigobert Song Bahana during the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar, which led to the player being suspended as well as leaving the Lions den in Qatar just after Cameroon's first game against Switzerland. Till date, the reason behind all the saga is still unclear, as a sanction was not clearly defined, and the consequences are what may have prompted the player to call it quits. As 2022 comes to an end as it were last year, My Media Prime TV staff have held their end-of-year football match. Today, December 23rd, 2022, the game pitted journalists and technicians of the media house, a mouth-watering, bright, dramatic encounter aimed at fostering team spirit. Julian Dambi has details for you in the following report.
Football is known to be a unifying sport as it brings people together in a unique way. Thus, the management of My Media Prime TV under the BT Media Group organized a football match between journalists and technicians of the organ in a bid to strengthen team spirit.
We work 24/7, so we don't even have time for ourselves. So every end of year we come together, both the journalists and technicians of BT Media Group, to commune, to share, some of the bad and the good moments that we went through in the course of the year. So it's always a great pleasure to come together.
The football game that took place in Bona Musadi today, December 23rd, can only be compared to the match between Cameroon and Brazil at the just ended FIFA World Cup in Qatar. And the BT Media journey side were the Cameroon squad.
Oh, it was quite an exciting encounter. Most ladies, that's journalists, and gentlemen playing against mostly a male from the technician side. It was such an enlightening encounter, very exciting, seeing ourselves engaged in a sporting activity like this one, sweating off the stress of work, and of course, the journalists emerging victorious. Last year we had 2-0. We won the technicians 2-0, and this year we have emerged victorious once again, 2-1. So it is a very great feeling. Everybody is happy. We are not really focusing on the victory, but we are focusing on the fact that we are together during this time of the year and having some fun.
Also, the initiative has been appreciated by the staff as it ended in smiles for all and serves as a reminder that teamwork makes the dream work.
It is a sign of unity for us as technicians to have this friendly encounter with journalists. It's like it was a good game. We were like bringing the unity in the office onto the pitch of play and making us to understand that beside work, we can have fun like this. It was all fun. It was a good game.
Though the game ended in favor of the journalist side, it was a moment of joy as the My Media Prime TV crew are ending the year on a good note and with renewed commitment to continue building the future of media in Africa.
And now time for us to take this advertorial where EXIST is a purely Anglo-Saxon and professional university institute founded in 2019 and affiliated to the University of Bamenda by framework of a signed agreement dated on the 16th of September 2021 in the relation to ministerial order governing the operation of private higher education in Cameroon. EXIST embraces an experiential style system of training to deliver value to agile youths aspiring to become experts in varied professions of sciences and arts. During this recent immatriculation and graduation ceremony, the school officials promised more innovations to the higher education sectors. Details in the following report. Listen.
On the 7th of October 2019, the first set of students had their first lectures in the Experimental Institute of Science and Technology, EXIST. Few years down the lane, the institution is excited to celebrate extraordinary accomplishments by welcoming a record number of 207 students, representing the fourth batch of students, while sending out the second batch of graduates.
The message I have for my students, for my parents, remains the same message. EXIST is not just there to issue certificates. In Cameroon today, we find a situation where people have certificates but no skills. The difference EXIST is making is that anybody who graduates from EXIST is able to boast not just with the certificate but with skills and competence that make you sail through.
After just a few years of existence, EXIST distinguished itself in the 2022 HND by producing the National Best Student in Nursing, Midwifery and Law, as well as the National Best in Pharmacy Technology, among other distinctions. Such achievements don't come by chance. Mentorship and collaboration has been key in the process.
I have a lot of commitment towards building young people, and that is why you see us mentoring other universities like this one. Our idea is to promote excellence and build so that we can build a country that is worth excellent people, so that we can build a country that can develop, so that we can build a country of critical minds, people who can reason, who can get out of the box and be able to do things that will make the name of the country better.
After going through the stress of paying school fees, exams, feeding, transportation, work and studying challenges, the students feel confident in facing the realities of the job market.
I feel so super warm, I'm so excited, and I cannot explain how I feel. It's so exceptional, I don't know, but it feels good to be the first. I really wish to thank the administration for this excellent, for what they have done to us, for the excellent graduation ceremony, for the education and everything they gave us. They have been so exceptional. As I said in my speech, they are the best university who knows how to love their students.
Graduates were urged to join the alumni network so as to be informed on the progress of the university while acting as ambassadors across their professional and personal networks. Affiliated with the University of Bamenda by an agreement signed on October 16, 2021, the institute offers programs in health science, computer engineering and networking, home economics, tourism and hospitality management, banking and finance, education management, and law at the HND, bachelor degree and master degree levels.
This advertorial puts a cap on the week's edition of the 6:30 p.m. newscast on My Media Prime Television. The news was produced by Akeba Desmond, coordinated by Editor-in-Chief Faith Tata, and for presentation, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Macdella Eyong Bisong. Have a bon weekend.